Hi everyone, and welcome to the final reveal of my project to build Takom Blitz's 1/35th scale StuG 3 Ausf. In this final reveal video, we're going to be looking at using OPR, which is oil paint rendering, which is a system of using oil paints to create weathered effects. Also, we're going to be doing some tarps and a lot of storage detailing as well. So if that's something of interest to you, then pull up a chair and let's go do some modeling. Now, as you can see, all the oils are put on a cardboard pallet. This allows all the linseed oil to drain away. Thus, the oils will dry a lot quicker for you. Now, this is one of the older ones that I used when I was doing the lower hull. Gives you an idea of all the mixing that I do to create the colours and the effects that I want to on the model itself. And we'll go into a bit more detail as we go through this video. Now, obviously, we need application brushes, we have blending brushes, we have the Tamiya stirrer for the speckling effects, we have white towel, we have sponges as well to help blend everything in, and then finally we have a couple of pots of thinner to clean our brushes and to clean the model with. Now, first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add on some pigments. Here we have white pigments with a little bit of dust in there as well. And what I want to do is try and build up layers. We want layers of time. So we're going to have dirt that then has dirt on top of that. That in turn will have dirt on top of that as well. So gives that nice deep look to your actual model. So we're just going to be putting this on in the general area where we feel that dust and snow is going to accumulate. And then using the Tamiya thinner and the pipette, we very gently just add the odd drip here and there, let capillary action take its course, and then that will actually bind the pigments to the actual model. I then either use a hairdryer or if I'm busy, I'll just leave that overnight and come back and work on it the next day. So once all the pigments are dry, what we're going to do is start doing some mapping with some of the white tones. We're going to add a little bit of off-white grey there as well, so we get a variety of shades of the white. And then once that's all mixed in, giving me the shade that I want, we're just going to do some speckling effects to create again a layer of interest on the actual model itself. And you can be very specific where you'd like to put the speckling effects, or you can just randomly do it all over the actual model itself. Then once it's done, we'll just go around with a thin wash, just highlighting some of the raised areas like the hinges and the brackets, just to make them stand out a little bit, because obviously what we do when we do OPR, oil paint rendering, is that we go from light to dark. So we want to create a light, snow, dusty effect first off, and then when we want to, we can then start to darken things down as I'm doing here. I'm now using a darker grey mixed in with the off-white, and that just creates a slightly darker effect. It's not going to be as translucent, so we're going to be going in slightly thicker with the oils, and here I'm just going to be a little bit more exact with where those particular splatter marks go. And don't forget, in between each stage, to use the hairdryer to dry it all out, so that you can just continually add layer on top of layer. You don't have to worry or wait for it to dry over a day or two. Here I'm just blending out some of the marks that I wasn't particularly happy with. And then once I was happy with that particular layer of the lighter oils, I then started to add some darker oils, like the raw siennas, sienna itself, and some of the umbers. And we'll just mix that in until we get the desired shade that we wish to have. And again, here I'm going to be going a little bit opaque, so we're going more of a wash. And also I'm going to add in some of the whites as well. And really what I'm doing here on my palette is just building up a mini palette of shade of dark colour, including the whites and the greys. And then I can come to this particular spot on the palette and then take off the different shades that I wish to use around the actual StuG itself. As you can see, I've got a nice circle of colour there to use. So again, we'll go in with some speckling effects. Again, this is rather more of a wash, so this will actually be quite a light wash. Again, we're now going around adding some more speckling effects, some more mapping with the slightly darker colours. I want to try and bring out the richness of the Dunkelgelb. And don't forget, the back end of a StuG is the most trampled on. All of the stowage goes on here. The guys are walking all over it all the time. So there's no way this is ever going to be spotless. It's going to have a lot of staining, a lot of chip paint, and a real worn look. And that's what we're going to be achieving here. So again, we're just going to be going around some of the areas with the darker wash, just to highlight some of the more heavily used areas around the hatches and around the hinges themselves. And then once applied, we then go in with the blending brush and blend that out until we're happy with the final look. Always use your reference material, your black and white photos, and this will enable you to then create a realistic look on your model. Again, once done and that's been dried with the hairdryer, because don't forget the wet look of the oils is quite different to what the dry look is. So it's always good to continually dry the area, come back in with the wetter oils, and then just continue that process. So as you can see, it's a little bit wet at the moment, but that gives you an idea of how I've managed to use the light and the dark colours to create that really nice dirtied effect and worn effect on the back of the StuG. I was really pleased with how that turned out. And then what you can do is just go in and repeat the process, light to dark, pigments, and just build it up until you're happy with the look that you have. So I'll just leave you a few stills here so you can see it in a bit more detail. So once the back end was done, it was just a matter of repeating that process all over the StuG itself. So I started on this side of the fenders, created some really nice dark and light areas. The darker areas being around the clamps and around the borders of the fenders themselves, repeating that speckling effect using the whites of the pigments as well as the oils themselves. And then we came round to the other side, the barrel, used a lot of speckling effects on the barrel, really pleased with how that came out. And then obviously the fender on the other side as well. And because you can keep coming back to it, the great thing about OPR is that you can remember what the process was on the area that you used before, and then you can repeat that as you just go around. Concentrate on the small areas, weather that out completely, and then move on to the next area. And those were the rear exhausts, which I was really pleased with how they turned out. And then on to the actual top of the StuG. I didn't do a great deal here because I was really pleased with the way it was looking anyway. But we just extenuated it, put a little bit of snow effects in there, a little bit of rust work on the clamps. The front end, again, one of the highlights of the build for me with the spare track and the rustiness of the track that used to be there. And there we have all the speckling effects on the barrel. Very pleased with how that all turned out. And again, this is one of my favourite areas on the fender at the front. So now it's a matter of adding on all the stowage. Again, the stowage had already been weathered in the same way with the oils. And that was all put into place as realistically as possible. And then I felt, winter time, we're going to need some sort of coverage. So we're going to have some tarps. So what I did, I got some tissue paper and just sort of formulated where I wanted my tarps to go. And then once I was happy with the shapes and the sizes, I'd use those as a template. Now, I use brown stuff rather than green stuff. I feel it mixes up a lot better, and it's more ideal for using for tarps. I use talcum powder, gloves, and obviously a rolling pin to roll it all out. So once the grey and brown have been blended in together, it's just a matter of rolling out the epoxy until it's really thin. It must be super thin to the extent that you cut out a part and then roll it out again, cut it out, roll it out again until it's wafer thin. And as you can see, using my templates, I managed to apply 3 at the back, 1 at the front to cover the barrel. And then what I did, I painted on the primer, and then I went round with some dark greys, some panzer greys, and also some greens, just to give a bit of a variety of colour for the tarps. And I was really pleased with how those came out. And obviously once that was done, it was a matter of again weathering them, so adding on the pigments, adding on the oils, a lot of dry brushing with the oils around the tarps to give them that lived in look. I added on some of the rear stowage as well. Very pleased with how that turned out. Some of it was out of the spares drawer, and some of it was handmade. Here we have a little bucket that was handmade with a little paper towel or cloth on the side as well. Always got to have that on the German vehicle, of course. And as you can see now, I've started to add on all of the extras, from the wheel clamps to the helmets to the spare tracks. And what I'm trying to do is just build up what I feel it would look like. I always like to put the hammer in the lifting eye, as you can see there. That's always a nice feature. And the spare wheels look really cool on the side. I decided to put the can on the back of the tarp just so it would be shown as some sort of weight to keep the tarps down, because I didn't want to rope any of these tarps at all because it's so fragile at the back of this model. You'll also see the tow ropes being put in as well. We've put in the fire extinguisher and the barrel cleaning rods, as well as a nice wooden box on the back. And as you can see from this side view, I was really pleased with the realism, how we've gone from the light whiteness at the top to the dirtiness on the top as well. And it was all blending in beautifully. You also notice that I've put in some of the pigments on the tarps as well. And then it was just a matter of just going around, cleaning it up, make sure I was happy with the finish. And as you can see from the photos, it's really turned out well. And I was very happy with the finished result. So just leaves me to leave you with these final photos to say thank you very much indeed to all of my subscribers, old and new. I really appreciate your help and support of my work over the time, and I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I have. And in the meantime, happy modelling, everyone.